All right. What's going on, Hydrow? My name is Mac, and we are joined by Mike Dostal today. We are talking about how we became Hydrow athletes and where we were working before all of this.
Yeah.
It might surprise you.
It may surprise you. And in amongst there's going to be a great workout.
There's going to be a great workout sprinkled in. You won't even know it.
15-minute breathe today, right?
15-minute breathe. It's steady state. We're working low rhythms, low efforts, conversational pace. So
Exactly.
that's why we're going to be doing the talk test. We'll talk more about that in a little bit.
Yes, we will.
But let's, as we're getting strapped in, we can look at our metrics. Slash 500M is your split. That's your speed. The lower that number is, the faster you're going. But today, like we said, low rhythms, low efforts. It's a breathe, so not going too fast, too hard, working at that sustainable pace. And then we also have S/M, that's your rhythm number. That's how many strokes you're taking per minute. So if you're matching our hands, then we are all going to take our very first stroke right here, right now, looking for a 20 on that rhythm number.
Exactly.
There we go. How you feeling, Mike? You ready?
I'm pumped up.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is 20's a low rhythm, so you got to keep me in check here.
Yeah.
Mac.
Okay, I will.
If we start
I'll keep you
up,
honest.
even 21 or 22, I want you to no. Back down. Back on 20. Nice time to do this.
Yeah, we're working
here.
consistency and just being right on that rhythm number. It takes patience. It takes time, but
I'm a patient
I think we're
man.
gonna.
I'm a patient man. I can be.
Yeah.
In moments.
But like I mentioned, we're working that conversational pace. So there's something that we recently learned about is the talk test. So
well, it's a
Can you
great
tell us
one,
about
isn't it? Yeah, this is it's a breathe on Hydrow. If you're joining us for one of the first times, we know that many people are. We call it a breathe. It's aerobic exercise. If you come from a different background, maybe track or cycling, zone 2, that's where we're going to be today. And a talk test, if you're not on heart rate, talk test is a great way.
Yeah, so if at any time you feel like you wouldn't be able to jump in on the conversation, or you got to turn down that effort a little bit. So we'll keep you to it. All right, but you got to keep yourself honest as well. There are so many benefits to working this pace, and that's what we're looking to get after this today.
You don't have to fall off the rowing machine every time you row.
Would you believe it?
I wish they'd told me that in the 90s.
Yeah.
Just dying every time, falling off. Thought I was doing good for myself. It wasn't. It's all right.
We learn, we grow.
There we go.
We get better. But so these first 5 minutes, super steady, working this 20, and we're going to tell you a little bit about our very first jobs. Because today, as you know, we are Hydrow athletes, but wasn't always like this. Would you say, Mike? What was your?
I think you were born to.
Job?
I think you were born to do it. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I think you were too.
I hope my mum's not watching that. She'd disagree with you heartily. You know, one of my first jobs was, it was so far from where we are today, which is probably a good thing. I worked in it was an aluminium recycling plant. Can you believe it?
Okay.
Yep. It's one of the.
Tell us more about that, because
You're interested.
Yeah, I want to hear more about it.
Yeah, it's a real party piece.
And aluminum?
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of pronouncing it. Aluminum.
Okay.
Aluminum.
Aluminium?
Yeah,
I like that way
aluminium.
better.
It was back in England where I grew up. And it was one of only 2 in the world at the time, which was wow. And what did I do? Well, I'll tell you what I did.
What was your job?
It was nothing grand. I was in a little room, and as the soda cans, empty, fell off the conveyor belt, I had a shovel, and I was to shovel them back on. And I had to, it was work. There was plenty of work there. And
It's not much, but it's honest work.
someone had to do it, Mike.
Yeah.
Those cans were not going back themselves, and that was my job. And I do remember one thing that stands out. I was a young whippersnapper, and there were some old fellas that worked there, and they came in, they go, "You know where all the cans come from, Mike?" And I remember going, "I don't know, like the high street, like, I don't know, people who drink soda." And they go, "Brazil. They come from Brazil." And I go, "Oh, okay. I'll shovel them still." And they said, "Well, you know what else comes from Brazil?" And at the time, I was just like super into like football or soccer. So I was like, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He comes like the original Ronaldo, the one with the teeth. And
not this phony these days.
not the guy from Portugal, no. And they go, no. You know what really comes is snakes and spiders come with the cans in the shipments.
I can see it now. Mike locked in this closet with a shovel, fending for his life.
And they just sort of go to me, all right, we'll see you at lunchtime, and just shut the door. And they must have been laughing. And I was in there just probably about 19 years old, just going like, all right. I don't know if this is worth the £5 an hour that I was getting paid, but...
Did you stay there long? Was that a formative career for you?
It was formative,
yeah.
But I didn't stay long.
That was amazing. I had a very similar first job.
Oh, you were in the factory too? I never came across you.
You could say I was a babysitter.
Yeah, a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, I didn't really use a shovel ever. My job was more like order pizza and put the kids to bed. So.
Well, that's important work. 10 minutes on the clock. We should bump this rhythm up.
Yeah, we're going to bump to that 22 for the next 5 minutes here. So still working that conversational pace, even though we bumped that rhythm up. Still in that range of being able to talk, not being so crazy out of breath.
Absolutely, and I like this because it is fun working out with a group, working out with a team here, of course, on Hydrow. Listening to some of Mac's stories, and this is the pace we should be at. So if you're like, I want to go harder, I want to get the most bang for my buck, yeah, that's a different workout.
Yeah.
This one's really important. It's zone 2, it's aerobic, it's a breathe.
Yeah, there we go. So as we row here for the next couple minutes, we're going to finish off the last 5 minutes at a 20. So a little pyramid action today.
Ooh.
I figure as we shift rhythms, we'll also shift focuses here. You've worked many jobs, Mike. What is one of the most memorable?
Is that a nice way of being so like you're really old?
No. You're so talented. You've worked in many different fields. You've worn many different hats. Do you have a day in mind that sticks out where you're like, that was a weird day at work? I don't know. Because I think these days we have a lot of weird days at work.
All of our days are weird at Hydrow. Well, in a good way.
Yeah, in the best way.
Yeah, some strange interactions. But as a teacher, do you believe that? I taught high school in the United States.
What did you teach?
Math. I taught math.
I think I did know that about you, actually.
Yeah. Well, I say it whenever I can.
Yeah.
Makes me seem smarter than I really am.
It does. I look at you differently. Wow, Mike was a math teacher. Who knew?
Yeah, high school math. I wasn't particularly good at math or teaching, but I gave it a go. And I remember there was this brilliant kid, and when I say brilliant, he was just awesome, but he was not brilliant at math. He did not like school. He's a football star, though. He's a football star, and I had the job of getting him through the standardized testing so he could get through high school.
It's a lot of pressure.
Not for me. For him, a lot of pressure, I imagine. And I remember one summer's day, he was in the classroom. I must have said something to him. I was really trying to help him, but I don't know, maybe I come across harsh sometimes. And the windows were open, and I said, Skylar, come on, let's get back to it. Come on, we'll be at the end soon, or something like that. And he was dumb. And he got up, and as I said, he was quite athletic.
Yeah.
He clean leapt through the window. Like, he ran across the classroom. I said, wow, what's going to happen next? And he cleared the desk, sailed through the window.
Through the window?
It was unbelievable.
Was this the first floor of a school?
Yeah, we were like, imagine if we were on the 5th floor.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I miscalculated.
Yeah.
No,
wasn't good at math. Really not good at calculating.
Yeah, there was that. He landed in the parking lot, and I just watched him just disappear across the field. And of course, I was left in a classroom full of the other kids who were looking at me like, what are you going to do now? Are you going to chase it down? Or like, what are we going to see?
Yeah.
I remember I just had to go like on the intercom to the office and go, Skylar's escaped. And they're like, pardon me? And like, he's just like ran right through the window and disappeared. And we didn't see him until the next day.
Oh my gosh.
Brilliant.
That's amazing. You're hearing that right. Mike was a teacher, and one of his students jumped out the window to escape.
I always remember that.
And then your response is just like, all right, class, turn to the next page.
Yeah, I mean,
We're doing a worksheet.
What can you do? Still on that 22, one more minute.
Yeah, here we go.
Right here, what about yourself?
One of my
Working with kids is tough.
Yeah, I worked with kids a lot. I was a babysitter, camp counselor. I worked at a daycare, and there was one day in particular that really scarred me. It stayed with me all these years, and I think it really prepared me for life. I walked in and immediately was handed 2 crying children. They said, "We're understaffed today. We've reached max capacity, and you're in the toddler room. Go watch the 40 kids that are running around the toddler room." And at the time, I was 17, so I'm like, I don't know if I'm qualified. I don't, this feels like a lot for me. 2 strokes, we're gonna bring it down, back to that 20. There we go, lock in, find that shift. But yeah, I just remember there was a lot going on. There was even a parent that came up to me and was like, coming to pick up their kid. She's like, my son has a bite mark on his arm. Like, what happened? And I'm like, ma'am, look around. I can only speak for myself. It wasn't me. But look at what's happening here. There are so many children just being crazy.
Think yourself lucky, honestly.
Yeah. So it was definitely a moment where there's like this comedian. He has a bit about how babysitters or camp counselors, like, you know, who are just teenagers, it's like hiring a horse to watch a dog, just a slightly older child watching children. And yeah, I just had a new respect for parents everywhere, for caretakers, and I was so grateful at the end of my shift, like I could just give the children back and
you were the horse.
be on with my day and be a horse
in
a sea of dogs. Yeah.
Nice job. Let's stick to that 20. We're creeping up. It's really easy to do.
It is, yeah. It is. It's like the past memories are giving me some extra adrenaline here. Locking in at that 20. But I think that's kind of the great thing about working many different jobs. You get a little taste for, I don't know, and I feel like it always comes back to fuel you a little bit.
Like working with all those kids helped you get
helped
prepared
me prepare for my role at Hydrow.
Yeah, working with children.
Yeah. Working with children, but mainly, no, not working with children. Mainly like the chaos of it all. Usually we film workouts out on the water, and there's only so much you can prepare for. And whatever happens, you kind of just got to roll with it with a smile on your face and know that, you know, we're going to get through this all together and it's going to be great.
Exactly.
But, Mike, we're at the end of our workout here.
We've got 2.5 minutes. This is
2.5
by
minutes.
Conversational pace.
Yeah. This is my favorite kind of workout to do.
Yeah. Hope
can you tell us what?
I was saying, I hope everyone else is enjoying it.
I know.
Just getting those meters in feels great.
Yeah, and we want to hear about your first work experience too. Let us know what kind of odd jobs you worked. You can reach out to us on Instagram, and we want to know our audience. We want to hear from our team. All right, but Mike, can you tell us a little bit? How did you become a Hydrow athlete?
That's where we're headed. Yeah.
How did you go from aluminum factory worker to math teacher?
Can manager, if you don't,
sorry, can manager.
If you don't mind.
To math teacher.
That was a downgrade.
To Hydrow athlete.
To Hydrow. Well, I can tell you it's a strange job, this one. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was asked to interview here, and I came along, and guess who I bumped into on the first day? Danny
Was
Hanny.
it Danny
It was
Hanny?
Danny. I think everyone's experience, she was one of the first people working here, and I think everyone's experience is, I met Danny on the first day.
Yeah.
Danny's larger than life. What you see on screen is, there is no on-off switch, it's just on all day.
Yep.
I remember meeting Danny, did my interview, we had to go on the water and film.
Yeah.
Do a practice row, see what we were like. And I just remember Danny being larger than life and being amazing, honestly. And I remember having a little debrief afterwards. And I was like, I didn't know her then. And I was like, I think this woman's like tearing up as she was telling me stuff. And then the next thing was the bizarrest thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I'm tearing up. I think I'm going to cry in a minute.
After your performance, after giving feedback? Wow.
I was like, what is happening? But I realised, yes, Danny's very special. Hydrow's really special too.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to work there.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about yourself?
I had a very similar experience too. Connected fitness at the time was a brand new concept, right? It's a couple years ago, around 2018, 2019. And so I didn't really know much about it, but as soon as I came, I interviewed, I did an audition. There were just so many special people around us that I was like, wow, this is a really cool place to be. I want to be here. I want to be part of this. And Danny was one of the first people I met.
She was an instigator.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope you guys are all enjoying the Hydrow experience too.
Yeah, we're going to take our last couple strokes here. It was fun kind of reflecting on our previous jobs. I think starting anything new can be risky, it can be fun, but there's always opportunity for growth, and I think that's what we found here at Hydrow. It's a special place.
Yes, and I hope you guys find that too. What a great workout, Max. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. We'll see you on the next one.
Absolutely. And if you guys